So this episode has actually generated many theories, and using the theories, I was able to finally figure them out. There are other episodes that secretly connect to Stanley's story, and once I pieced it together, believe me, I finally solved the mystery of why everyone hates SpongeBob's cousin. In Stanley S. SquarePants, SpongeBob's cousin comes to stay with him after destroying everything he touches. Literally. He can't drive, can't work, and somehow manages to break SpongeBob's house within minutes. At first, SpongeBob welcomes him with open arms, but soon, Stanley's bad luck turns contagious. And when he finally lands a job at the Krusty Krab, everything collapses, including Mr. Krabs' sanity, actually because of greed, and money, of course. By the end, Stanley gets shipped off to work for Plankton, the show's final punchline. But that's where it gets weird. And it turns out the answer to why everyone hates Stanley connects all the way back to two other bizarre episodes, Not Normal and The Thing. Each of these episodes hides a small clue about what Stanley actually represents, a clue that explains why he was doomed from the start. Now, rewatching these episodes closely, something started to click. Think about it. They look identical, they sound similar, they both work at the Krusty Krab. But Stanley is broken. It's almost like the writers wanted us to see what SpongeBob would be like if his optimism stopped working. In Not Normal, SpongeBob tries to change himself after Squidward calls him weird. He watches a video on how to be normal, starts acting emotionless, smooths out his sponge pores, and becomes eerily polite. But soon, SpongeBob's friends hate it. Even Patrick says,
"When you decide to do something fun, you know where to find me."
By the end, SpongeBob literally explodes back into his old self, returning to his goofy, happy identity.
So here's where the story takes a dark turn. In The Thing, Squidward gets covered in cement and ends up trapped in this gray, featureless shell. SpongeBob and Patrick think he's a new creature and name him Smelly. They take him home, feed him, and even build a small habitat for him. But here's the messed up part. SpongeBob treats him like a pet. Squidward eventually ends up in Patrick's house. Patrick instructs animal control to talk Squidward away because he thinks a wild animal is on the loose. Yeah, classic Patrick. But notice, everyone rejects him. I mean, Squid has been living in the Bikini Bottom for how long, but no one recognizes him. Shigs. Sound familiar? That's exactly what happens to Stanley. The moment he tries to live in SpongeBob's world, everyone starts panicking, running, and pushing him away. Both episodes show the same thing. Bikini Bottom rejects what it doesn't understand. But this isn't just a theme, it's a second clue. Because if you line up these episodes, something eerie happens. Not Normal shows SpongeBob trying to fit in. The Thing shows Squidward being transformed and rejected. And Stanley S. SquarePants shows an outsider who can't even exist without destroying everything. It's almost like Bikini Bottom itself is a living system. And Stanley? He's the final test. He's what happens when something completely incompatible enters SpongeBob's world.
In the very first scene, Stanley breaks SpongeBob's TV. SpongeBob says,
"That's okay. There's nothing good on TV anyway."
But then, every object Stanley touches after that breaks too. Even the Krusty Krab's cash register literally catches fire. That's when I realized the show uses breaking objects as a visual code for rejection. Every broken item is like a warning sign. Stanley's presence corrupts the world of SpongeBob. It's almost as if the world itself purged Stanley to restore balance. So, what if Stanley's not really SpongeBob's cousin? What if he's something else? That's when I went back to an earlier SpongeBob episode most people forgot about. An episode that feels harmless at first, until you connect the dots. It's called I'm with Stupid. So, in I'm with Stupid, SpongeBob pretends to play dumb so Patrick's parents can see how smart Patrick is. SpongeBob plays along, acting like an actual dummy, but soon Patrick starts believing the act. Sponge gets angry, breaks through Patrick's window, literally. Wait a minute, does Patrick even have a wall? So how? Never mind. And SpongeBob out. It's a chaotic, emotional episode about identity, embarrassment, and the fear of being seen as less than. Now, why does that matter? Because Stanley Asks SquarePants is a mirror of that same idea, only worse. SpongeBob spends most of Stanley's episode trying to fix him, just like SpongeBob tried to fix himself in Not Normal. But the harder SpongeBob tries, the more everything collapses. So Stanley isn't just SpongeBob's cousin. He's SpongeBob's repressed self. The part of him that fails, breaks things, and isn't good enough. The part he hides away so he can stay the perfect employee, the perfect friend, the perfect sponge. When Stanley enters the story, that hidden side becomes real, a version of SpongeBob that Bikini Bottom can't handle. And the way everyone treats Stanley isn't about him, it's about what he represents. Because if Stanley is SpongeBob's shadow, his failure made real, then every time something breaks, it's like the illusion of perfection is cracking too.
That's why the cash register catches fire, so Krabs gets so angry.
That's why even SpongeBob loses his patience. It's the show literally collapsing under the weight of SpongeBob's hidden flaws. Wait until you see what's been hiding inside the Krusty Krab this whole time, because there's another mystery buried deep in the Krusty Krab that might explain why Mr. Krabs can't fire Squidward. So now the mystery's solved. And once you see the pattern, it changes how you see both characters forever. Click over to Why Mr. Krabs Can't Fire Squidward, because that mystery runs even deeper.